right. Oh, I forgot to hit a thing. Hang on. I've got my shit together. It's okay. It's okay. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having... Well, that's not what I want you to do. You didn't even give me a chance to hit the start button before you went into that cutscene. I mean... Anyway, hi guys. I had a day. So, for anybody who didn't see the social media posts or the YouTube thumbnail, yeah, we're doing the at least the mining, and if we have time, the fishing quests tonight, because I did not have time to do the gathering I wanted to do for the leather worker, or like the other two faculties, basically, for crafting. What we're gonna be doing on... I did yeah, I leveled up Weaver to 90, and Culinarian, because I remember what those quests are both about. But I didn't have time to get that shit set up, so, especially since I am sending retainers out to gather the skins for the leather I need. But yeah, bad news. Saya has a little scratch on her eye. Good news, it's not cancer. Haha. Oh, it'd help if I... There we go. Anyway, yeah, so I now get to medicate both of my cats every day. Because Luca's still on his steroids for the foreseeable future. And I now have to give Saya, like, an antibiotic for her eye. The vet also gave me some gabapentin just to help with, like, the pain and stuff. So, yeah. Everything's going great. Also, big exciting announcement. Today was Luca's follow-up appointment, since it's been a month since he finished chemo. And, the vet said that his tumor seems to be, basically, I guess he's in remission. There's some thickening of his stomach lining, but that's probably just gonna be a permanent thing now. But yeah, so he's doing good. He's a healthy boy now. Huzzah! I can officially say that my cat is a cancer survivor. But yeah, anyway. With that out of the way, let's talk to Hinegeshi and get these quests started. Hinegeshi is worried for her professor. Excuse me, kind madam. Pardon my forthrightness, but might I beg a moment of your time? I work under Professor Tonkin, and am in search of a capable miner to assist with his research. That is your profession, is it not? I mean, it's one of them. In which case, I wish to discuss potential employment with the Faculty of Anthropology. Assuming, that is, you have an interest in our work. I'm super interested in anthropology, actually. Magnificent. Searchers Meet, where we currently find ourselves, is a place where gleaners can connect with the faculty and students of the Studium. It allows us to acquire the necessary materials for our studies, and also provides us with a place to store supplies and specimens. And with your help, I believe I may be able to procure what is needed for the professor's research. Of course, such work is predicated on the assumption Professor Tankin has decided on a focus for his next project, which sadly he has not. How exactly am I supposed to help then? Ah, my apologies. In my haste to find aid, it would seem I've gotten ahead of myself. You see, the professor must submit a research proposal to the Studium, and soon. Otherwise, he will be unable to secure funding for his work. In fact, his very tenure could be cut short. It would be a great loss for the Studium, as he is a remarkable scholar. The very definition of calm and collected, until he discovers something that piques his interest. Then his eyes widen and his cheeks take on a rosy hue. Honestly, it's like he regresses to being a young boy. Returning to the topic at hand, your first task will be to procure Professor Tonkin himself. I imagine you'll find him somewhere in Numenon, if you would be so kind. Yeah, sure. Wonderful. And when you find him, pray offer him this slice of Archon loaf. Like as not, he's forgotten to eat as usual. So what you're saying is this guy has ADHD and is powered entirely by hyperfixations. The sheer size of the library can provide daunting at times. But I have spent enough time with the professor to know he is in there somewhere. Man, the way if, like, if we got isekai'd into Final Fantasy XIV and ended up in Charlian, the way I would just, like, go into the library and nobody would ever find me ever again. Shizune, the final days are coming. Okay, but, like, I'm still not done exploring this wing of the library yet. Shizu, Apocalypse! But the literature section. I have discovered the rarest of finds, a library that has a full series and not just a book 3. But not books 1 or 2, because that would be silly. Let's see here. Ah, there he is. You know, it's a marble floor, but corner of a library actually feels very cozy. I'd rather if it was carpeted, but maybe put some random pillows on the floor. Bean bags. What? Damn it all, I succumbed to the sweet song of slumber yet again. She always strikes when I least suspect it. Okay, I know I'm not one to talk, but a regular sleep schedule would probably help with that. I don't suppose you would happen to have a morsel of food to spare on your person. I seem to have built up quite the appetite whilst dead to the world. Hinageshi sent you, eh? Of course she would insist that I eat Archon loaf. At any rate, you have my thanks. I hope you do not think me rude for indulging right away. That ought to silence my stomach for a while. Truly, I am indebted to you, madam. Danny, hi! Dozing in the midst of research is an all too common and routinely ignored occurrence around here. There's no telling how long I would have slept had you not come when you did. In fact, it calls to mind the tale of a researcher seeking a means to traverse the ethereal sea. He wished to do so while still amongst the living, you see, but they found him dead in the midst of a pile of books. But that is neither here nor there. I take you are come seeking employment? Your timing is quite fortuitous, as I but recently decided upon a topic for my thesis. Pray accompany me to researchers' meet once more, and I shall explain all to you there. How you doing today, Danny? Nice. I need to get back into working out. I've been slacking. It's too cold to go on walks now. And I never got around to getting that treadmill, which I probably should do. But also I should probably be playing more VR games, because rhythm games are love. Rhythm games are life. I was right, wasn't I? This is far from the first time he has been found face down in a book, and certainly won't be the last. you are, my savior from slumber. Professor, please! It would be most rude to waste any more of her time. Might we discuss the focus of your next research project and what it is you require of her? Ooh, nice! Very exciting! Good luck! I would love an exercise bike, but I do not have the space for that. Maybe someday. Yes, of course. Time is of the essence. Honestly, Hinegeshi, I do not know what I would do without you. Well, that is most flattering, Professor. Thank you. I mean it, Hinegeshi. I would be lost. Completely and utterly lost. Professor Tonkin, Yes, and quite famished besides. So absorbed was I in my research that I had all but forgotten my need for rest and sustenance. Were it not for your kind gift, I would surely have expired by now. Oh, I thought you meant... I mean, yes. Yes, of course. Always happy to help. Poor girl. Provided our research is deemed of value to the Studium, we are supplied with clothing, food, and shelter. But only the bare essentials, mind you. You need but look around to know the veracity of my words. We do as we are instructed, researching and gathering resources. But what value do these things truly have in the grand scheme of things? Oh, have you not done these quests? Oh, you're in for a treat. I remember these quests. This was a good series. All right. The study of 1,000 civilizations, and nothing here has changed. The culture of Charlian remains as stagnant as the threadbare attire we wear day in and day out. I must confess, you do have a point about our garments. Should my shirt and trousers be soiled, I would have little recourse but to wear them inside out. But to be perfectly honest, I have no real qualms with the way we live here in Charlian. That is all well and good, Hinegeshi, but would you be content to let your children live in such austere conditions? Your children's children? Children? Professor, why ever would you bring up such a thing? It is a subject I have thought to broach for some time. After all, you shall be my sole company for the foreseeable future, and I yours, correct? Yes, I suppose you're right, and I am perfectly content as we are. Of course, if you would prefer other company... brother. Perhaps I've come at a bad time. Perish the thought! I have long wished for the help of a third party and insist you stay to aid with our research. A third party? Splendid. I am resolved to... Ma'am, you're the one who asked me for help! I am resolved to change our current way of life. However, in order to do so successfully, I must first determine what cultures are best suited to blend with ours. As such, my research shall involve recreating the lifestyles of other cultures within this very building. So, that was the cause of your furrowed brow of late. Well, it is a marvelous idea, Professor. Which is where your experience as a miner comes into play. I would have you gather the materials necessary for said recreations. Though we do have a great deal of resources on hand at present, they are as yet inadequate for my plans. Now, if you will excuse me, I require time to consider which culture I shall attempt to emulate first. Have you ever seen such an inspiring sight? I don't know if I have. My intention is to research as diverse a collection of cultures as possible. To which end, I will focus on those whose unique customs set them apart from other walks of life. topology! It is a relief to see Professor Tonkin has at last chosen a subject for his research proposal. I myself have long been interested in the world's myriad peoples and their customs. In fact, that is precisely why I was so keen to work with gleaners well versed as they are in the lore of distant lands. My parents, too, had a love of learning of other cultures. It was their fondness for the Far East and its beautiful flowers that gave them inspiration for my name. Despite knowing the origins of my name, I never gave it much thought. That is, until one day when the professor commented on it in one of his enthralling lectures. However, he did not stop there. Professor Tonkin continued by musing on how even a single flower can go by many names. Different regions will know it differently, after all. He then went on to talk of how this difference in location, language, and lifestyle can have a profound impact on how we think. We Al-Ra have our roots in the Far East, though I only know of the Charlian way of life, he said. I have long wondered what change might occur within my own mind should I someday visit my ancestral home. It is this very question which drives my research. Yes, even now I remember his words oh so clearly. That lecture inspired me to take up my current post. Yet though I have done my utmost to assist him, our failure to present any findings has left me with naught to show of my own achievements. Oh, how I long to conduct research with him in the Far East. Just the two of us. Just the two of you, eh? What are you implying with that tone? I think you know exactly what I'm implying. No, perhaps it is time I was honest for once. You see, I'm rather fond of Professor Tonkin. You don't say! I never would have been able to guess. To be honest, it is more than a little disconcerting that he has not noticed my feelings when even you have. However, given that his current research is squarely focused on creating a better life for us, I feel this is an opportunity I cannot pass up. But I have no experience in matters of the heart. Like a fool, my youth was spent with my nose buried in books. Would you, perchance, be more experienced in the matters of romance? I wish. I would be forever grateful for your help in winning the professor's affections. Truly, you will help me? Oh, thank you so much. Well, you certainly seem to be getting along. Oh, Professor, have you come to a decision? As you are doubtless aware, Charlian is frightfully cold all year round. However, this has led to rapid progress in our ability to control our environs. Nothing proves this fact more than Labyrinthos. It is so pleasantly warm down there, you would be forgiven for thinking we were somewhere altogether more tropical. This has inspired me to look into the lifestyles of those who actually reside in balmy climes. We may yet happen upon a discovery or two that would never be made simply shivering in the cold. In line with this, the culture we shall seek to emulate first is none other than Radzat Han's. Splendid! We will need you to go and collect a few things that can only be obtained in Radzat Han proper. Hinageshi will brief you in more detail. Yeah. All right. Let me out of the cutscene so I can actually get started. All right. Does he have anything new to say? As I'm sure you're aware, Radzat Han is located on the island of Thavnair in the southern region of Ilsabard. More specifically, it is found in the southeast section of the Bounty. Whilst it is famed for having an incredibly pleasant dry season, eventually the temperatures climb, accompanied later by an increase in humidity before the onset of the rainy season. Simply put, the area is infamous for being both scorching hot and horrendously humid. Just about the polar opposite of Charlian, wouldn't you say? I am positively chomping at the bit to study their way of life in more detail. And I guess she is ready to research, as am I. I've made a list of a few Hanish staples we require to emulate life in Radzat Han, and, well, there are certainly quite a few things you would struggle to procure here in Charlian. There is one in particular which is used to make both vibrant dyes and special spices. Any road, best of luck gathering this in Thavner. Alright, Hamsa Hatchery, so the Great Work is the closest to it. Oh wait, what am I doing? We want our dragon daughter. There we go. But yeah, so yeah, if I understand these quests correctly, not only are we a third wheel, we're a third wheel to a professor and his grad student? I have some concerns and some questions, and yeah. Oh, here we go. Hanish staple. Gimme. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, Danny. How many did I gather? It's not going to show me the progress on the quest right now because that's based off of what I've turned in. Okay, I need 3 more. Of course, this is only going to give me 2, and I'm going to have to go to another node. Awesome. If I'm gonna have to gather from 3 nodes anyway, I wish I hadn't gotten that extra gather on the first one, honestly. Alright, that should be 6, right? Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna grab ice crystals for the last of that. There we go. And back we go. Oop. There we go. Does he have anything new to say? No. Alright. Oh my, what fine specimens you found. It's so vibrant. Yes, these will be most helpful indeed. Thank you. These rocks are used to create the vibrant dyes Hanish clothing is often known for. They say each color has its own special meaning in their culture. In making your first successful delivery, you have begun to earn Hinageshi's trust. Yeah! Professor Tonkin and Hinageshi take the items you brought them and set to work emulating Hanish culture. Is he really playing at being an alchemist? Most colorful, would you not agree? Alas, one would surely freeze to death wearing these clothes in Charliant for very long. And while their cuisine is quite delectable, I must say it is rather spicy for my own palate. I mean, anything is going to be spicy when you usually live purely off of Archon bread, I feel like. Perhaps their love for spices developed out of necessity? A fine hypothesis indeed, Hinageshi. Food is prone to expire all too quickly in climes such as Razat Han's. Copious use of spices not only helps to increase one's appetite, it also masks any unpleasant odors that may come from food on the brink of spoiling. And with spoiling food comes the risk of harmful bacteria, a likely reason for the region's struggles with sickness over the years. I can think of no better catalyst to spur innovation in medicine through the mastery of alchemy. Hello, Episto. No, I'm not a voice actor. Oh, you'll see. Don't worry, Danny. These quests go places. Anyway, Master of Alchemy. Here we go. This, for example, a tonic to raise the body's core temperature to protect you from the cold. Resourceful as always. Thank you, Professor. Returning to their penchant for colorful hues, I believe I understand the reasoning for that as well. Simply put, primary colors stand out even under the unrelenting rays of the sun. Hence, everything from their buildings to their bracelets are made in bold, primary colors. And each color represents different concepts. Red, for example, represents fire. Its close relative, orange, represents the spiritual fire that rages within one's soul, the very source of life itself. This is why they believe orange to be an auspicious color for would-be mothers and the like. Would-be... Oh. You don't say! My, that is good to know, Professor. What else can you tell us of Razat Han? Oh, plenty. But I find experience to be the better teacher. So come, let us live as the Hanish do, and I am sure we will happen upon countless discoveries. Well, this is all going rather swimmingly. I had hoped this research might bring us closer together, but I never dreamed we would end up living together. Of course, it would not have been possible without your help, and for that, you have my thanks. Oh, cool. I'm a fledgling matchmaker. Ma'am, I don't think that has anything to do with the job I'm doing for you, but okay. I must say I've taken quite a liking to these spicy Hanish dishes. They do wonders for one's metabolism, and those of us in academia seldom have time to exercise, meaning they could often or even benefit one's health. And I guess she is on a hot streak. Not the holding hands! What would the other professor say? You've come to a good time, or you've come at a good time. Hi, I do believe the professor has another assignment for you. Zev, is everything okay? Good to see you, my friend. We were in the midst of summarizing what we've learned living in an approximation of the Hanish lifestyle. While we commit our thoughts to parchment, I would ask you to acquire a few things we need for our next sampling of culture. And where did you have in mind, exactly? Garlemald. The Empire? Oh my, I certainly wasn't expecting that. Do you truly believe there is aught we can learn from them to improve our way of living? I understand your trepidation, Hinageshi. While their history is filled with countless invasions and much suffering, there may yet come a day where we live in peace alongside the people of Garlemald. Though I realize how unlikely that may seem at present. But the winds of change blow fiercely now, and there may soon come a day when they seek shelter here in Sharlayan. Knowing that they cannot manipulate ether as we do, I wish to better understand their culture should we need to play the hospitable host. Now I feel like a fool for thinking you were only pursuing the subject to improve the lives of those who presently call Sharlayan home. Such genius! To that end, I would ask you to procure the most essential staple of Garlean living. I speak of an ore unique to the region, and a certain fruit there that has adapted to grow even in the coldest of climes. Oh, and do not fret. You do not need to bring back both. One or the other will suffice. The Garlean staples you require can be, okay. Near the monitoring station. To Tertium we go. Or not Tertium, to, Broken Glass. But yeah, also, like, they live in a region that is even colder than Sharlayan, so what could they possibly teach the Sharlayans about living and staying warm and all the rest of that? Am I right? Wait, let me make sure. Monitoring station is somewhere. Oh yeah, monitoring station G. Anyway, something I appreciate about these quests is, unlike the Disciples of War and Magic role quests, these actually make sense regardless of if you started or finished MSQ or not, or like where you are in the story. Garlean staple. Okay, is this gonna be another one where I end up one short? Guess we're about to find out. Yep. Alright, just need one more. Anyway, exciting news that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, but people may not have shown up yet at the time, but Luca had his ultrasound today to check on his tumor since it's been a month since his last chemo treatment. And he's doing good! They didn't see anything concerning. They'd want to do another ultrasound in like 2 months, but other than that, the doctor was like, yeah, I don't recommend any further treatment. Just gotta keep giving him his steroid. And yeah. Speaking of, hey, I do want you to gain weight, but if you do it in a way that doesn't involve stealing your sister's food, that would be appreciated. But yeah, also, I had to take Society to the vet today because I noticed the night before yesterday, or like Monday night, and I just wasn't able to take her to the vet yesterday. I didn't have an appointment, but she was kind of squinting in one eye and her eye was really weepy. They took a look at it today and she has a little scratch on her eye. So now I have 2 cats I have to medicate for the next week. They said it should heal up in about a week. Gave me some medication to help her with the pain and also an antibiotic just to keep things clean and healthy and help her with the healing. And yeah, I have no idea how it happened, but bad news, Saya has a scratch on her eye. Good news, it's not cancer. We have been relying on the tomes in Numenon and existing theses in order to accurately emulate foreign cultures. And I have realized that there are a great many things you would never discover without experiencing them firsthand. Oh, uh-oh, hang on. I don't want to waste scripts, but once I buy this next book, what else am I gonna have to spend them on? What? Oh, because these are gathering scripts. Hang on. Folklore? Uh-oh, right. These aren't crafters scripts, which is why, even though I just spent a bunch of scripts recently, I'm suddenly in need, and I don't have access to being able to buy folklore yet because you couldn't do that. Oh, I know what I could maybe... I think I'm gonna have to head over to... Oh, wait, maybe it's here? No. Okay, yeah, I think I have to go to Rod's at Han to get what I need to get. Because I think what I am gonna have to do is buy tokens for folklore books. Which, you're the vendor for that, right? Yeah. And each one is 16 token Cs. Alright. I don't think I need 99. 16... 2... 3... 4... 5... 6? Is that gonna be all of them? Man, on one hand, it's great for new players that it's so easy to get old crafting books and gathering books and stuff. On the other hand, I need more stuff to spend scripts on. Oh, I miscalculated. Cool. I need 3 more. Okay. Is that all of it? Yep, there we go. And I'm sure I made sure to... Yeah, I did double check that I had everything from the Shadowbringer zones, I think. I'm pretty sure I did. Because I'm sure I would have run into this problem with scripts when I was doing the facet quests. Alright, let's try that again. This time without accidentally overcapping scripts. Worst case scenario, we'll double check Yulmore to make sure that we actually did get all of the folklore stuff from Shadowbringers, but I'm pretty sure I have it all. Goodness, I did not expect you to bring back specimens of such quality. This will make our work much easier. They use this ore to create alloys like adamantite, you know? Magitech wouldn't exist without it. Professor Tonkin and Hinageshi take the items you brought to them and set to work emulating Garlean culture. Borscht! Ah, yes. Garlean culture, wearing military garb while eating borscht and standing around a heater. Sounds about right. I must say I'm warming up to these cozy clothes and Magitech heaters. All of this would definitely improve life in Charlian. Alas, we've only been granted permission to use the heaters for the duration of our research. We'll have to return them to the Studium after we're done. That said, I think I just felt a bead of sweat trickle down my neck. Perhaps I won't miss them as much as I thought. When I take in, then I take it you have no need of this piping hot Garlean cuisine cooked with Magitech kitchen utensils? Oh, Professor, no! I would gladly sample any food prepared with skillful hands such as yours. You're struck with the image of an American waltzing around in a Japanese yukata. I can see it, because these two are kind of cosplaying different cultures to, like, try to experience them, but they're trying to experience these cultures without actually going to the cultures and interacting with the people. That being said, there are places in Japan that will totally, like, rent out kimono to you and, like, actually help you get into them and stuff. And you can walk around Kyoto in kimono. And that was super cool. The group that I went with when I was in college, actually did that. Boy, are those shoes hard to walk in, actually, because they're very slippery. It was very cool. I'd love to go back to Japan someday. Because on one hand, it was great going with my school group because the professors all had a lot, like, one professor was from Japan, another one had spent a lot of time living in Japan at one point, and he was like, his specialty was Japanese history. And then the third was a philosophy professor, whose big focus, like a lot of the classes he taught were related to like Buddhism and like Buddhism in Japan and stuff. So they were very knowledgeable, and the one who had lived in Japan for a while had a bunch of connections. That meant we were, I mean, I think it was between his time spent living in Japan and also the fact that he had been running this program and like doing this trip for a really long time, and he just had like some really good connections. So like when we were in Tokyo, we were staying at the guest center that like, or like what is now like a sports / like student center that was where the Olympics athletes were housed. Not this most recent time that the Olympics were in Tokyo, but the time before that. And like in Kyoto, he had a contact who's this little old lady who ran like traditional Japanese houses as like guest houses. And of course we were there in December, so we did have the space heaters and we were sleeping on futon, and we had like to bathe, we had to walk down to the local onsen to like bathe there, and then go across the street to the convenience store for ice cream and cold drinks, and it was very, very fun. And then we went to Hiroshima for a night, which was an experience. We went to the Peace Park across the street from the guest center we were staying at. But yeah, like on one hand, that was really cool, and he tried to keep things as affordable as possible. On the other hand, it'd be nice to go back sometime and just be on my own schedule. Because we were only there for like a week and a half, and we saw and did a lot. Anyway, provided one is given the necessary instruction, even a child could operate these Magitech devices. And even at the heart of all Magitech lies Ceruleum, a most efficient and convenient energy source, indifferent to the whims of nature like wind and hydraulic power. Its mass production allowed the Empire to bring Magitech to the people at large, with further refinements to their manufacturing process affording them surplus time and manpower, which they applied to even greater innovations. That said, the importance of alternatives to Ceruleum cannot be ignored. It is, after all, a finite resource. Should we completely squander the world's resources, we will inevitably suffer for our lack of foresight. Is that a, hey, we should be using renewable resources for energy messaging in my Final Fantasy XIV? Professor, this looks exquisite. I thought as much when we were studying Hunnish culture, but you really are a fantastic cook. Yeah, I mean, ceruleum in general is a thinly veiled reference to oil, complete with the air pollution. You flatter me, Hinegeshi. I would be nothing without the recipes that guide me. Although it does warm my heart to see you enjoy my cooking so. There are many, many dishes I still wish to try my hand at, and I would be delighted if you were willing to sample them as well. Oh, it would be my pleasure. Is it my imagination, or has the professor been more affectionate towards me of late? It really makes me wonder what will become of our relationship when his research reaches its conclusion. Oh, but I must stop daydreaming. There is yet work to be done. Hinegeshi is delighted with your efforts. She now considers you a novice matchmaker. Anyway, we're about to get an ad break, so I am going to put up the BRB screen for a few minutes so I can go and refill water and stuff, And I will see you guys on the other side of that. want to see what else Tonkin has to say. It is strange to consider that the many things we can achieve easily through magic would be beyond a Garlean. I'm keen to see what discoveries await as we live like they do a while longer. Oh yeah, and as we progress through the quests, they're putting up little mannequins of the outfits they've tried. Which is neat, I guess. Hinegeshi is mulling over her recent findings. Oh, I am positively desperate to know what culture we shall experience next. Welcome back, my friend. We will be continuing our experience as Garleans a while longer, though I would like you to set about procuring materials for the next step in our research. Though, to be honest, I still have to I've still to decide where that step might be. Well, thus far we have lived as people do in the freezing cold and the ferocious heat, so I would say it is time we set our sights on an altogether different sort of inclement environment. Spot on as always, Hinegeshi. The people of Garlemald may have overcome nature's fury with their sterling use of technology, but they are far too reliant on ceruleum. Consider this. How would they cope if they were suddenly unable to obtain their precious fuel? One should never be without a contingency plan in case they are thrust into much less hospitable environs. That is certainly true. However, what kind of culture could take root in an area that is effectively uninhabitable? Announcing your presence by making me take care of myself, how dare you? Thank you for the head pats. Alright, let's get that stretchy in. Anyway, third time I'm announcing this, but ouch! Luca had vet appointment with ultrasound, and he did it. He won cancer. He beat it. Vet doesn't want to see him for another 2 months for another ultrasound just to like check on things. But yeah, things seem to be going good. Also, I know I was talking about this on stream yesterday too, but so Saya's eye thing, she has a little scratch on her eye. So now I have 2 cats I have to wrangle and medicate. Anyway, you're just in time for more of the romantic comedy that is the Gathering quests. That is certainly true. However, what kind of culture could take root in an area that is effectively uninhabitable? Oh, I know where we're going. It is precisely what I have been mulling over of late, Hinegeshi. I wish to look into how exactly culture could come to exist in such places. The issue is, well, such regions tend to be uninhabitable as a result of their harsh conditions. In short, there is nowhere that meets my criteria to begin with. Inhabiting the uninhabitable. Yes, it does seem to be something of a paradox, but there could be merit in investigating the idea. You're a well-traveled adventurer. You're a well-traveled adventurer, yes? Can you think of any place that may suit our curious criteria? The moon? Yeah, have you considered the moon? That sounds so much more funny than Mare Lamentorum. A settlement on the moon by the name of Mare Lamentorum? Well, that would certainly fulfill my requirements, but even if it truly exists, it's not as if one can travel to the moon on a whim. I can! You're being entirely serious, aren't you? Good gracious, you never fail to surprise. Indeed. But, however, I feel obligated to mention that we know absolutely nothing of life on the moon, assuming it is even possible. Pray head to Mare Lamentorum and gather whatever items you believe are necessary to recreate life there. Sure, carrots, and more carrots, and even more carrots. Surviving the Moon, a treatise by surviving way. The lunar staples you require can be gathered near the crushing brand. All right. Toss a couple bunnies in their ass? No! In the context of my joke, that's cannibalism! Emergency food? Yeah, oops. Awkward conversation with... Is the crushing ground on the other side? No, it's right there. Okay. Awkward little comment of the law talking to Vana. Vana, why did you make us bunnies? Emergency rations. What? You guys are so cute. It'll make everybody feel better. Yeah. I mean, this just goes to, like, further my point that she was actually, like, nefarious levels of evil. Alright, we are at the crushing brand. Now, where do I gather? Here? What? Oh, see, you tell me that something is at the crushing brand. This is not where I'm gonna think. But, okay. Having some emergency cheesecake? Ooh, what kind of cheesecake? Just regular vanilla cheesecake? Okay. I still have birthday cake in my fridge. I've been eating it in thin slices so that I can make it last. But I don't want it to last too long, otherwise it's gonna go bad. But yeah, I want to appreciate it for as long as I can get away with, so... Let's go turn this in. I don't suppose you would know how best to store items from the moon. I wish to avoid accidentally ruining any precious samples you acquire on our behalf. Well, first of all, let me talk to the boy again. Need to get rid of the cheesecake quickly so he can make more pumpkin. That's amazing. But also, he knows it's December and pumpkin season is over, right? Honestly, is there anything you cannot do? I am starting to think we ought to study your way of life next. Cool. If you guys came along with me on my next adventure in Dawn Trail, you would probably shit yourselves. They're travel companions as we travel through Tyrol. We constantly lose them because they're so fascinated and keep getting distracted. Pumpkin season is never over if you're not a coward. But hear me out. If you have special times of years for certain things, it makes them special. Also, it is December. It is mint chocolate time. Mint chocolate cheesecake? Is that a thing? 5 to 12, you really are capable of travel to the moon. I know nothing of life on this or on its surface, but even at a glance I can recognize the outstanding quality of these samples. Not a fan of mint chocolate? No! These are carrots, aren't they? Not that I expected to be not what I expected to be found buried in the crust of the moon, but thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, but you can have dark chocolate with mint. Professor Tonkin and Hinageshi take the items you brought them and set to work emulating lunar culture. The ratio of mint to chocolate has to be right, though. What the fuck? I forgot about this. I forgot they did the rabbit costumes. Professor, are you certain this is representative of life on the moon? But of course it is, Hinageshi. My information comes from the Loprits, a race that calls Mare Lamentorum home. Well, that is all well and good, but is it necessary for us to don these ridiculous outfits? Well, I thought it might help us to experience life as the Loprits do. And as for all these carrots, make no mistake, Professor, it is wonderful to know that agriculture is possible even on the moon. But I fear a diet comprised entirely of one type of root vegetable will not hold up to scrutiny. That may be so, but civilizations have had to move and adapt countless times throughout history. And they are not always able to eat exactly what they longed for. There may come a day when we too are forced to move to the moon. The professor is unleashing his persona. The funniest thing about that is he's an aura, so he already, like, he is already his own, like, his own scale sona. The professor doesn't seem to be enjoying himself much. Perhaps he's not especially fond of carrots. I realize this is not the most opportune time to focus on my romantic pursuits, but soon my time will come. I can feel it. You're right. It's not the appropriate time. Also, isn't he your teacher? And now they added the rabbit costume. Frankly, it is none of my business, but I have been wondering of late what it is that drives you to continue your adventures. Are you driven on by yourself, or are there circumstances which compel you to go on? Regardless, I am most impressed with your willpower, adventurer. It's the clarion call of fame and fortune. I mean, saving the world and doing the right thing. And I guess she is having a splendid time. I do wonder what culture we shall be examining next. Knowing even the moon is inhabitable, the possibilities seem endless. More stretchies! Thank you, Zeb! More hydration, wait! I bear good tidings. Permission has been granted for our voyage. Oh, you're making me stand now. Okay. One moment. Oh, hit the wrong button. Hang on. Alright, I am gonna give a little extra backstretch, but I must drink my 10 gallons of water daily. 10 gallons? Wait a minute! You guys are gonna give me water poisoning! I bear good tidings. Permission has been granted for our voyage. I decided it was about time we went and experienced other cultures firsthand, rather than recreate them here in our workshop. Yeah, that would be the ethical way of doing this. Appreciate it, Zev. Also, everybody say thank you to Saribot. A fabulous idea, indeed. Wherever are we going, Professor? Hingashi. Kugane, to be specific. Oh, how wonderful! Though our journey has been approved, we cannot afford to tarry. We have been granted but a short amount of time to stay there, you see. Are you, perchance, knowledgeable of the Far East? Boy, am I! In that case, could we ask you to act as our guide? Sure! You have my thanks. We should arrive at Pier 2 when we have reached Kugane. Pray meet us there when you are ready. As a fellow Ara who went to the Far East to reconnect with her roots, I can scarcely believe it. Our first our first research trip together. I know what you meant. Would that be, or would that we could travel via Etherites? Mayhap then we could have more time for research. Alas. I mean, once you've been there once, unless you don't have enough, what's it called? Anima to teleport. Once you've been there once, you should be able to attune and travel at will. Or at least as often as you're capable of teleporting. Kugane. There we go. Oh, I forgot to set the timer. Hang on, we're starting at 20 minutes now, because why not? Alright. There we go. I know this was like an easy hop, skip, and a jump walk, but I'm lazy. Now, where could they be? Sometime later. We braved the experimental Aetherite and came via Razat-Han. Much to our delight and surprise both, they were renting local attire and I was not about to pass up the opportunity to dress in authentic Hingan garb. I still cannot quite believe I am here in this foreign land with the professor. Now, where is Kugane Castle? You can't miss it. Look up. Wherever it is, it does not seem to be visible from here. Would you happen to know a better place to take in its splendor? How do you feel about jump puzzles? the roof of the Shiokaze holstery would do nicely. I was joking, but that is a thing. Wait just a moment. Are mere tourists such as ourselves allowed on the roof of said establishment? I enjoy fine views as much as anyone, but I would rather avoid becoming a criminal. Oh, that's something I'm supposed to avoid doing? Perhaps Tosogare Bridge would be a better, or would be the better option. If I am not mistaken, it should be close by. Shall we have a look from there? Sorry, am I supposed to not speed run becoming a wanted criminal my first time coming to Hingashi? Why did nobody tell me? A fortress most formidable. This may be an island like Charlian, but it is quite clear our cultures are as night and day. However, one must keep in mind that Kugane is unlikely to be a true representation of life in Hingashi. After all, this port town is but a tiny part of a larger region, and sadly the only section of it open to the wider world. I look forward to the day that they change that. And like we get a fan fest where they're like, okay, we're going to the rest of Hingashi, let's go. If we are to get a truly accurate picture, we must break with the local, we must speak with the locals. I can read. Speaking of which, this place is surprisingly peaceful considering recent events. The ruling class doubtless controls what information is allowed into the area, which begs the question, how much is known by those here regarding affairs in the rest of the world? Perhaps they are convinced they are strong enough to weather any storm alone. At any rate, our work here is certain to prove a most enlightening experience. Already am I glad for this trip. Professor, if possible, I would very much like to visit the Umineko tea house and sample their dango. I have heard very good things. Hinageshi, do not forget why we are here. We are researchers, not tourists. You would do well to remember that. My apologies, Professor. Forgive me. I did not mean to upset you. I fear the long journey has left me on edge. Kugane does indeed thrive on tourism, and you are not wrong to deem that aspect of their culture worthy of investigation. You are too kind, Professor. Her asks him on date. Him. What an interesting research opportunity. Oh, right. This is like a really crappy location in terms of getting to an Aetheryte. There's one right here. Not Aetheryte, Ethernet. There it is. The blue glowing thing. That should be very easy for me to spot. What's she doing moping in a warehouse? Oh, she's not. Okay. Is she here somewhere? No. Okay. Ah, such heat. Greater, perhaps, even than the Garlean heaters. It is an honor to witness the forging of Kugane's world-famous katana blades. Ah, but we mustn't forget why we came here, why we are come here. I suppose now it is Hinageshi's turn to rebuke me. Hinageshi? Where could she have gone? I was so entranced by the sights and sounds of the city, I cannot rightly say when last I saw her. Let us split up and search for her. If you could check the Ijin district, I will search on Kogane Dori. Oh, Hinageshi. Oh, okay. A woman lost on the streets, you say? A tourist would have no cause to come this way. You would be better served searching near the gates of Kugane Castle. Much of the city can be seen from there. Now, if you'll excuse me. Man, every now and then, I just have to, like, stop and appreciate how pretty this game is. The lightning bugs are a nice touch. Anyway. Oh, look! It's 2 of the locations in this game that got woefully underutilized. If only we had gone to Thavnair and Garlemald in the same expansion and could have made use of a consulate to both locations in a neutral city. That would have been neat. Go up one more. Oh, not quite. Up more? I know, right? Knowing... It really is a shame we don't know any place like that. That would have been so useful. You're kind of searching in the wrong direction, aren't you, Shizune? Aren't you supposed to be looking out over the city? Yeah, like that. Found her! Why is it playing the spooky music? Hinageshi! We found you at last. Professor! Oh, thank goodness. I thought if I waited here long enough, you would come eventually. Yes, we did plan on visiting the castle, didn't we? I should have expected you would memorize our itinerary. But what happened? I could have sworn you were right behind me. Well, I was approached by a merchant on Kogane Dori whilst we were making for Pier Number 1. I stopped to say I was not interested, and when I turned around, you were nowhere to be seen. I should not have been so careless. You did warn me not to behave as a tourist, after all. No, I should have been more attentive. When engrossed in my work, my surroundings all but fade away. The thought of you lost, wandering aimlessly through the streets of Kugane, my heart was fit to burst. But to see you here, safe and sound, words fail to express my relief. I can only imagine the distress I've caused you. Oh, Professor, What can I do to comfort her? That's it! What's it? Terribly sorry to ask this of you, but I wish to fashion a hairpin for Hinageshi to lift her spirits. Might I trouble you to procure the necessary material? The Ruby Sea is said to be a treasure trove of resources. Perhaps you can find something there along the shore or beneath the waves. Sure, I can try. Thank you. I would be a fool to leave her alone, so I will wait with her here until you return. Alright, Hell's Lid. So, fastest way to there. We talk to her first. I am terribly sorry for all this. Our stay was meant to be a short one, and yet I have wasted so much of your time. My time? I can come here whenever I want. No, wait. I want Onokoro. And then there should be a boat right here. That should take me across to Sakazuki. And there you have it, a fast, easy way of accessing Felslid. Now, where? Ah, a little to the north? There it is. Other side of the... yeah, there we go. Man, it's not even a collectible. I literally just had to tippy tap once. And then back to Kugane. Oh, I already talked to her. All right. They say the Ruby Sea is a treasure trove of natural resources. I'm certain you can find what I need there. Here you go. Absolutely stunning. I shall waste no time in taking this to a craftsman. Pray keep Hinageshi's company here while I am gone. So how's it going? Kugane, huh? Where do you suppose the professor has run off to? I suppose it doesn't matter. It would only prove a hindrance were I to accompany him further. Huh? Where are you getting that from, ma'am? My apologies for disappearing like that. I went on a little errand to have this made for you, Hinageshi. How did she not hear him asking me to get the stuff and what his plan was? He was standing right next to us, or she was standing right next to us. Wait, the flower on this hairpin is... Nothing gets past you. Indeed, it is the flower the locals here know as a Hinageshi. I thought it would be a shame were we to return home from our travels empty-handed. I hope it is to your liking. It's perfect. Thank you, Professor. I will treasure it for all my days. Strange. These excursions to other lands are always a rather stressful ordeal. With Hinageshi here, though, things are different. Ahem. But this is no time for self-reflection. We must needs survey the rest of the town post-haste. Let us make for the Rikuza district, followed by the Bokairo Inn. But wait. Before all that, we must pay a visit to the Umineko tea house to sample their finest dango and tea. Your boy is slowly learning what emotions are. Yeah, no, like, this is a trope in some romance manga, especially in, like, yaoi, where a character will be like, oh no, I think I'm sick. Something's wrong with my heart. It keeps beating really fast. And everybody's like, okay, well, is there a commonality on when this happens? It happens every time I'm near this person. That's weird. Am I allergic or something? I just got a stupid idea for something fucking around with that trope. Thank you, Professor. I can hardly wait. The way she described him in the beginning of these quests is, yeah, he's usually really, like, calm and collected, but he really lights up whenever something catches his interest. So I've decided he's got to have ADHD. yeah, basically that, Danny, but what if it's like a werewolf romance and somebody's like, oh my god, I must be allergic to werewolves. I have to stay away from this person. Even though, like, I care about them deeply. It's like, no, you dumbass. I just had the most wonderful time chatting with the patrons of the hot springs. The springs were exquisite, though it was the view that took my breath away. Yet I had struggled to believe that on the other side of this ocean lies Doma, and the Azim, I had struggled to believe that on the other side of this ocean lies Doma, and the Azim steppe, my ancestral home. How I would love to travel there just once, to see how the nomads live firsthand. You will, Professor, someday, and I shall be by your side when we do. I would like that very much. Alas, the time has come for us to return to Charlian. Pray stop by searchers the view. Everybody's catching up on that. Damn. Pray stop by Searchers Meet once you've returned. I would see you compensated for your work here. I love getting compensated for my work. But also, hey, since we're here, I remember correctly, there's some people we can say hi to now that we're done with Endwalker. I think they're here. Maybe not. Maybe that was a different... Oh, nope. Here they are. Shizune, are you enjoying the hot springs as well? With such a lovely view, I admit that I have a tendency to linger over long. Grandfather will remain in Kugane for a time, but after that, it's off to Doma, where we'll make our way to Naxia as planned. The Eastern Alliance was kind enough to handle the arrangements, and it looks like our guide is to be someone named Otori. Or Atori. Oh, how I have longed for another adventure like this. I really hope that, like, because they have the side character scions all scattered and being like, yeah, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here, that means that we'll get to meet up with them. Like, if we ever go to Naxia, or when we go to Naxia, Alian and Ilsidor and Home will be involved, or at least Alian and Ilsidor. Also, I guess she too appreciates the view. I guess we know what her type is now. To think I lived this long without knowing the absolute joy of hot springs. They say these waters can even help relieve soreness in the legs. Perfect for a well-traveled adventurer like myself. I'm pretty sure they technically actually mean, like, this view, but it's much funny to interpret it as this view. What if, hang on, let's make some headcanon lore here. What if Alian is a Fujoshi secretly? And so when she says she's enjoying this view, she's like making up stories about these guys in her head or something. I am thrilled to see Ilsidor and Alian enjoy the hot springs so. When they told me of their plans to travel beyond Kugane, I knew their first stop had to be here, in these rejuvenating waters. Alright. Oh, right, I have to go back to Old Charlian. Okay, either my watch went off without me noticing, or I forgot to actually hit start on the timer. Which one was it, guys? Am I allowed to sit down? most fruitful trip indeed. However, I am yet mystified by the feelings of warmth and comfort I found there in Kugane. If I could somehow get to the bottom of that, I'm certain it would benefit our research greatly. Have you felt that sense of warmth and comfort in other places, Tonkin? Maybe there's something in common with all of them. It is good to be home. Traveling is lovely, of course, but best enjoyed in moderation, like all good things. I should hope you have some place to call home as well. I do! Then I would bid you return there and take a well-deserved rest. I will be in touch once again once we are ready to resume our work. It's been about 25 minutes. Whoops, thank you. Is he still saying the same thing? Let me double check. Yeah? Yeah. Alright. Hinegeshi is in a reflective mood. You know, on our return voyage to Charlian, the professor said he had been duly inspired and eager to continue our work. What culture do you suppose he intends to study next? Professor, now that we're all gathered, might we discuss your plans moving forward? Yes, of course. Our research thus far on the lifestyles of peoples in various regions has proved quite enlightening. However, after much deliberation, I have concluded that to merely compare and contrast locations alone will not suffice. No, we must consider different time periods as well. Oh my. Well, I suppose that means we will be studying Allig then. I can think of no other bygone cultures worthy of scrutiny. Really? What about Nim? What about Mok? What about Amdapur? What about, Sildi? Or Baladia? Or... Man, I can think of so many bygone cultures that are interesting and worth studying. Fuck the Alex. The game focuses way too much on them. Or the Alligans, I should say. And I understand full well why you would reach that conclusion. However, I recently happened upon records that suggest that there exists a civilization that predates Alligans. Yeah, because the Alligans were from the third astral era. There were 2 whole other astral eras before them. A civilization older than time. Far more advanced than one might believe possible. All I'm gonna say is, Danny, if you haven't started the Occult Crescent quests yet, you should. It sounds a fantasy, I know. But if it truly exists, I wish to recreate that paradise. I believe I know the place you speak of. I believe I know the place you speak of. Please, tell us all you know. A facility for the testing of creation magics. Fascinating. Were it anyone else, I would call them mad, but you did travel to the moon. I realize I am asking a great deal of you, but if there is a way to procure relics from that age, I would be eternally grateful. I will make what preparations I can for your return. Yaha? This may yet prove to be the discovery of a lifetime. Anything you can bring back to us will surely prove a boon to his research. All right, and then it's off to Elpis. by the Hungering Gardens, so I want to go to, I think, Poitin Oikos is the closest. Yeah. I mean, Agnorisis probably could have worked too, but it's fine. It's whatever. There's no real convenient way of getting there. But yeah, in general, if you guys are interested in 5th Astral Era lore and you haven't started the Occult Crescent quests, for no particular reason, you might want to check those out. Or if you want to wait until I get to Dawn Trail content and then we can do it as a group. Nom nom nom. Let's see here. Are we gonna get another chance to... Hey, actually, yeah! We're getting everything we need from just 2 nodes! Oh, and we still have some space for a crystal gather. Here we go. And back to old Charlian. Oh, right. Let me talk to Tonkin. I find it immensely more constructive to prove, rather than disprove, the existence of past civilizations. And with your help, I believe we can do just that. You know, a part of me thinks it odd that we now strive to emulate an ancient civilization. Would that not, after all, mean we are taking a step back? Though, if this Elpis is as advanced as you say, perhaps it will prove to be a step forward. Uh-oh. I guess we're doing that quick Yulmore experiment I was talking about earlier. Although I'm like 99% sure that I already have, yeah, because it was only 3 books. Okay, then what the fuck? I guess I'll just start buying the artifact gear mindlessly. For the sake of, like, glamour and stuff. There we go. I just don't like wasting... Yeah, I know. Tomes if I can help it. So I guess I'll grab these so that I can have fun with crafting and gathering glamours and maybe other types of glamours eventually. You know, I could probably actually see myself doing some cute shit with at least the fishing gear. Because, like, ignore the lack of pants, but this is actually kind of a cute top. Yeah, in a situation, like, once next patch comes out and we can... You will not ignore the lack of pants? Ash, please! Alright. The 80 gear isn't dyeable, because I need to do, Ishgard Restoration to get the dyeable versions. Is 70 gear... Oh, 70 gear, there might be some stuff worth getting. Let me double check and make sure I don't already have this stuff, since it's older. Alright. Oh, we've got ads coming up. Alright. Then I will... I guess continue this quest after the ads. Haha, whoopsie whoopsie. Because we've got, like, 2 minutes. Yeah, sure. Now, if they would just let us store this gear in the glamour closet, or in the dresser as outfits, that would be amazing. And then I know I have the 60 gear. Yeah. And it's in the dresser already. Alright, well... That's not where I wanted to go. There we go. I know. What I think is gonna be especially fun that it occurred to me is, with, like, people who are technically crafter and gatherer mains, but, like, they have to do combat anyway, they get to shonen protagonist it up. You know, you've got, like, the occasional, especially, like, older shonen, where you have a guy who's just a boy, and he likes to fish, or whatever, and then he just gets pulled into unlikely hijinks. What I'm basically saying is I fully expect, what's his name? Fruit Snacks? The guy who is known for, like, his fishing guides and stuff, to do a glamour that's just full fisherman stuff, and then go into dungeons like that. Yeah, there's, like, maybe 2 pairs of shoes and a chest piece that I'm excited to be able to use for combat maybe someday. What I'm more excited about is there's a pair of pants that I have loved since A Realm Reborn. But they're, like, it's why I was so excited about Viper, is because they are aiming pants. They're not aiming, they're scouting pants. But now I'm gonna be able to use them on Bard for any job. I also have some fun stuff set up. I already set up new glamour plates for my crafters and gatherers. I'm less interested in, like, using combat gear on them, but it means I can now make the ultimate gathering set by mixing and matching. Which, what am I doing? Oh, I just went through the wrong door. I see. I wanted not this one. Mona says you must go to bed. Is Mona the boss of you? Yes, okay. But yeah, I am slightly bummed. My hot take is I am slightly bummed that, like, artifact gear is gonna have restrictions lifted, because I do think that there is something to be said about that stuff being special to the job it belongs to, or, like, at the very least, I think you should have to have already gotten that job leveled to be able to use it, even if the glamour restriction is removed from it, but that's just me. Oh, right, I was gonna use the ad break to put this stuff in the glamour closet, I guess. Maybe play around with it, make a new glamour for stuff. Hi, Ajika. Welcome to 3 minutes of glamour. And inventory management, I guess. Whoops. I wanted this one. Here we go. There we go. It's not like I don't have the inventory space for this stuff. Did I? Hang on. Did I buy these for glamour and then never actually put them in the dresser? Oh my god, I did. Whoops. Those are kind of a go-to pair of pants for my glamours. Because... nor the lack of shirt. But... if I dye them black, look at how cute that is. Ignore the lack of shirt. Bonus points if I can get some, general purpose black dyes. They're real cute for stuff. As a matter of fact, let's add a shirt so that you guys can stop ignoring the lack of shirt. Whoop, that. But yeah, and then for shoes, let's go. Where are they? Here we go. And there we go. Cute glam. Or, alternatively, for the shoes, if we want to hide the leggings, there we go. This is actually a pretty common go-to glamour for me. But yeah, anyway. We're back from ads before I had a chance to finish what I was doing, so I'll deal with the rest of that later. Or maybe once, because it comes out on a Tuesday, right? And I stream on Tuesdays. Maybe on patch day, we'll just, like, dedicate a certain amount of time to me making glamours. me thinks it odd that we... Oh, wait, right. I read that already. I just had to use up some scripts. Goodness me, this material is like... Or is it unlike anything I've ever seen? Honestly, I find it hard to believe believe it is as old as you say. All the better for our work, I suppose. These materials are possessed of immensely high concentrations of ether. What could they have used this for? Professor Tonkin and Hinegeshi take the items you brought them and set to work emulating Elpis culture. Where the fuck did you learn the language? I beg your pardon, Professor? Oh, my apologies, Hinegeshi. I was simply imagining what the people of Elpis might have sounded like. Ahem. We did our best to recreate their culture based on what you have told us. Frankly, it felt like I had wandered into a fairy tale at times, but I do find their way of life has its merits. They do not waste time on the frivolous. Everything has a clear, functional purpose. Perhaps, but I find their clothes make it rather difficult to go about one's duties. It is entirely possible they did not need to engage in physical labor. Their proficiency in creation magics may have led to the decline of their physical frames. Wielding writing quills and such was no doubt a simple matter, but it is unlikely they could bear anything weighty. What role do you suppose these masks played exactly? Mayhap they were averse to showing their faces? I would posit that they distinguished each other not by their outward appearances, but by their ether. Or perhaps they all led such fulfilling lives that they simply had no need to express themselves as individuals. To think that such a sophisticated civilization vanished in but the blink of an eye. I wonder if all cultures are ultimately destined to meet the same fate. We will discover that answer in due time, I'm sure. Though part of me wishes we could live like this forever. An interesting idea, Hinegeshi, but I am not so sure it is a wise one. Still, it is gladdening to see you enjoy the cultures of the old world so. No, oh no, that's not what I meant. Not exactly. I was merely thinking how nice it would be if every day could be like this, experiencing new ways of living together. Studying the length and breadth of a people's history as a whole, we could see naught but threads and trends and tendencies. Like this, however, taking a glimpse of their lives day by day, the parallels between our cultures become quite clear. Even these ancients of Elpis no doubt enjoyed the simple pleasures of life as we do, taking each day as they came. It would be oh so lovely if we could do the same, enjoying the simple pleasures of life, one day at a time. Why, Hinegeshi. You are exactly right. I sometimes feel I learn more from you than I do my own research. You flatter me, Professor, but I've said nothing worthy of such praise. I guess I'm a veteran matchmaker now. Hinegeshi is loving life. Oh, is she now? We have already amassed so much data for the professor's research. I cannot imagine where we will turn our attention to next. I forgot to talk to him. Shit. Oh well. Good, you're here. There's something I wish to discuss with you both. I will be informing the Studium that my research has concluded. What? But why? My apologies for keeping this from you. But my research had an ulterior motive. It was, in fact, part of a contingency plan devised by the Forum. That plan being mass exodus to another star. The true goal was to determine what cultures were worthy of preservation and how said preservation might be accomplished. What cultures were worthy? Me? Fuck Charlian. I don't understand. Are you saying the Forum had resigned itself to abandoning this world? I am afraid so. Yet the fact remains that culture can only survive and thrive through the people who share it. Any knowledge we might feasibly preserve now is no bit different from the myriad tomes collecting dust in the halls of the Studium. Which is why, apart from research being conducted in Labyrinthos, we were tasked with finding suitable cultural elements we might actively preserve for those in the future. And it was during our most recent endeavor that I found my answer to this great conundrum. Hence, there is no need for further research. I simply need to summarize our findings in my thesis. My sincere thanks to you both for all your hard work. Truly, the pleasure was all mine. A pity our work must come to an end. Yes, well, did you have any plans for after our research was finished? I cannot say that I do. Our work together has been so engaging, I could scarcely think of aught else. In fact, it has been quite some time since I've paid visit to my parents. Which reminds me, they said they found a new suitor when last we spoke. Something to look forward to on the voyage home, I suppose. A suitor? I can't tell if she's petty, conniving, or both. Or clueless. Gods, am I too late? If only she had stayed a short while longer. What do I know? Or what do I do now? I got that wrong. Eh? I was hoping she would accompany me on my next venture. Research of a ceremony of sorts. I say research, but it's more of a, go on. Oh, Tonkin, such roundabout thinking is how you got yourself into this mess. My research endeavors together with Hinegeshi have made me realize just how much she means to me. I realize the foolishness of harboring these unrequited feelings, but I can contain them no longer. Which is precisely why I intend to propose. Shouldn't you guys date first? Oh well, it's about time, I guess. Going a little fast, but okay. I appreciate your enthusiasm, though I don't understand why you're so moved by my proclamation. Don't worry about it. But before I propose, it would be prudent to learn how she feels about the matter. And for that, I require your help. Though I understand if you would rather not involve yourself in such a personal matter. Trust me, I am already involved. I have been involved. You will help me? Truly? Then perhaps hope is not yet lost. You see, my plan was to fashion an eternity ring. I wished for it to be something memorable, which is why I would ask you to procure the materials. Materials for the ring from the place where Hinegashi and I first worked together. Labyrinthos. I shall see to the rest, and have hopefully steeled my nerves in the interim. The Eternity Ring, Lower Akrinthos. Okay. So is that going to be Charlie and Hamlet, or is that going to be the other place? You said, hang on, where did it say? Lower Akrinthos. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, this is the highest level area around here, so... I guess I'll just go to this node and see if that works. Did I get it right? No. If they could mark things on the map a little bit better. Am I wrong? Did they mean... somewhere around here? No? Oh! Oh, that's a Corinthos. Got it. Okay. I was super off. So is it gonna be these? Yes. All right, easy peasy. Have you found something suitable? I do not mean to rush you, but I fear time is not on our side. Here you go. Thank you. Now to set about fashioning the ring. Before you go, may I ask one last favor of you? Please deliver this letter to Hinageshi. Okay. The door is this way. And then Hinageshi is over here. I can still hardly believe our work with Professor Tonkin is over. It was foolish of me to grow so attached, I know, but I've never been so happy as when I'm with him. A part of me wishes he felt the same, that we might have grown closer in the short time we had together. Alas, life rarely lives up to expectations. But thank you again for all your help. I'd better be going now. Wait, here's a letter. A letter addressed to Hinageshi. The untidy handwriting betrays how nervous Tonkin was when penning it. Aww. A letter? From the professor? It says he wishes to discuss his future works with the Studium, and that I am to return immediately. But he should be readying his thesis. Whatever could he be so urgent? Only one way to find out, I suppose. Whatever it is he has to say, it must be urgent. This is the first time the professor has ever written me a letter. Here we go. You delivered the letter? Good. Now I but need wait for her arrival. Sorry to keep you waiting, Professor. Thank you for returning on such short notice. You see, there is something I must tell you. To be brief, how should I say this? By saying it. With your words. You noted in your missive that you wish to discuss future matters with me. Have you, perchance, decided on another subject to study? No, not exactly. You see, Hinegeshi, I would like to officially list you as the lead author of my current thesis. Naturally, this will require you to contribute extensively to this composition as well. A fine opportunity for you to put forth writings of your own as well. You coward! You would trust me with the position of lead author? I would be honored, of course, but it was you who did most of the work. I could not possibly steal the plaudits you so rightfully earned. Nonsense. I have learned so much from you over the course of our research. It would be nigh fraudulent of me to take all the credit. 3 words, my dude. Or 2. Is that so? I had no idea. I love you or marry me. Say them. Or both. Well, I'm afraid I must disappoint you, Professor Tonkin, for I cannot stay. Uh-huh? My parents have completed arrangements for me to meet with this new suitor they found, and so I must return home at once. You shall do nothing of the sort! Professor, please. There is still plenty of time until the thesis must be submitted, correct? Surely it can stand to wait until I've met with... The thesis is not what concerns me, Hinegeshi. It's... Didn't you prepare a gift for her? Why don't they let me just straight up call him a coward? Yes, of course. If not for you, I fear my nerves would have gotten the better of me. Thank you. Our work together has taught me a most valuable lesson. It is not an environment that makes a home, but rather the people one shares it with. And in time, those people may form the deepest of bonds. Hinegeshi, the time we've spent together has been the happiest of my life, and I do not wish for it to end. Say that you will stay with me, that we may enjoy the simple pleasures of life together, one day at a time. Professor Tonkin, I don't know what to say. Yes! You say yes! You are well within your rights to refuse if that is your want. Or should you choose instead to be bonded with this suitor of yours, I will not stop you. Bonded? Whatever are you talking about? Did you not say your parents found you a suitor? No, no, you have it all wrong, Professor. The suitor is not for me. It's a business partner for my parents. You shouldn't be using confusing words then. Your parents? You don't call those suitors. You didn't know my parents are both botanists, yes? They were recently introduced to a potential financial supporter who also wished to know more of my research interests. I thought it an opportunity to secure funding for our next venture, and so I agreed to meet with him. Our next venture? They're both stupid! Of course! You won't be getting rid of me so easily, Professor. There's still so much for us to see, so much to do. Then, does this mean you have accepted my proposal? Proposal? I'm not sure I follow. And may I ask why you have that ring? Ma'am. Well, you see, this ring is used in the ceremony of eternal bonding, and I was hoping you might join me in a recreation of the ceremony. These two are so dumb! A recreation? Absolutely not! Then let this be the first of many real experiences together, Hinegeshi. Together. Hinegeshi, will you join me in the ceremony of eternal bonding? I thought you would never ask. Damn, she was quick. I know not what the future holds, but so long as we are together, I know our days will be filled with joy and happiness. A lifetime of new experiences and endless possibilities. Where did they come from? I cannot thank you enough for all you have done for us and our research. Perhaps someday, scholars in the future will find elements of our lives worthy of preservation. This was all so sudden. If you told me this was a dream, I might be inclined to believe you. Nevertheless, it gladdens me to know we will continue living together as we are. Though a small change of pace now and again would not be a terrible idea. Perhaps we'll take a trip once our thesis is dealt with. Speaking of trips, we will have to pay a visit to my parents first and foremost. A splendid idea. I had a feeling you'd think so. But before all of that, I wish to thank you for helping to complete our great work, and more importantly, for bringing the two of us together. I believe I speak for us both when I say you have our eternal gratitude. That one. Sure, why not? All right, and that is botanist and miner done. Gosh, we have 30 minutes left to the stream. I don't think we're gonna have time to start to do Fisher, because this already took a while. That being said, Sunday we are gonna push and we're gonna get both of the remaining crafting quests done and the Fisher quest. But in the meantime, let me see if I can find let's start a second custom delivery NPC. I think she's unlocked by now. I know she was the last one to get added to the game, but I kind of want to start with Emilienne and Margit because they're both Charlian based. But let me make sure that's not locked behind anything. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, no. All right, so it unlocks in Old Charlian. Gotta head to bed. All right, thanks for dropping by, Danny. I appreciate you. Hopefully I will see you on Friday or Sunday. 13. Maybe he has multiple things. Let me check something. So yeah, that's a level 60 quest that's locked behind, and the MSQ quest it's locked behind is... Oh, it is post Endwalker. Oh. All right. Well, I'd hoped, but okay. It's a 6.4 quest that's locked behind. Okay. Is the other guy unlockable? Or is that also locked behind MSQ? I think it's in Crystarium. It'd be nice if I could get started on Q custom delivery NPCs off the bat, since I have 12 allowances. Let's see here though. Yes! Alright, then we're gonna finish off the stream by doing a second custom delivery quest. Let's go. The sheep looks eager to share something with you. Bah! 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 Bah? Vessel. Ah! Guess it wants me to follow it? Or... Oh, it left the letter. That's nice. Having emphatically imparted its message, the sheep dashes off. You can only hope that this letter contains some matter of sheep to Vrandric dictionary. Or, I'm sorry, sheep to Vrantic dictionary. The script is comprised of several distinct hands, and a sweet, flowery fragrance lifts from the page. Your thoughts wander naturally to the pixies of Ilmeg. Greetings, sapling of the king. If you are reading this, it means our precious Fluffy has proven itself most admirably as a messenger sheep. We write you with some fascinating news. A talking leafman has appeared in Ilmeg. Eh? You remember our leafman, don't you? Those dreary mortals we furbished into darling shrubbery? Well, they're not usually much for conversation on account of being topiary bushes, but this one simply jabbers on. Such an accomplished leafman must pique your interest, yes? Come and find us in Lida Luran, and we shall introduce you. The fuck? Oh, I wanted to do this on. There we go. Actually, no, Carpenter first. For the record, I like Onden's custom delivery quests and his story and stuff. It actually got me kind of weepy for reasons. I just don't like one of the rewards you get for maxing out with him. That's all I'm gonna say to avoid spoiling things. But there he is. Excuse me, madam. Might I have a word? If you can understand me, that is. Oh, wow, it does talk. Hello. You can! Oh, what a relief. Please, help me. My mind is in a terrible haze at present, and these flittering, chittering children have done nothing but to cackle and poke at me. You came. You came. I knew you would. The king's sapling would never pass up a wonder this delightful. I am Eotir, and this is Lor'ul and Ankos. We wrote you that letter together. Sapling? Wait, are you a plant? I thought you were a person come to help me. Oh, please tell me you aren't some tree who simply looks like a person. Sapling, seedling, heaven's pillar. Tree metaphors seem to follow me. Speak plainly, I beg of you. Are you or aren't you made of wood? I'm not. Why, you sound so distraught, as though you aren't the greenest and leafiest one here. What marvelous fun this is. In exchange for making me laugh, I'll share with you both a little secret. This chatty little bushling sprouted from none other than Anden, one of the leafmen inside these stables. As for why, who knows? Maybe Anden's spirit is simply overflowing with life, or maybe all my pruning and wishing finally paid off, or both. Regardless, the two are connected by their roots, which means they are both undeniably Anden. So my name is Anden, is it? My memories are so muddled I can't tell if it feels familiar or not. Oh ho! Why don't we muddle Anden back into his original form then? That sounds like wonderful fun. Oh, how lovely! Let's change him back! No, absolutely not! Everyone knows that trying to change a leafman back only ends in a mucky mudman. Anden won't be another attempt gone wrong. I won't allow it. You mean to say that my choice is between remaining a bush or becoming mud? That I shall never again assume personage? Oh, say it wasn't so, please. Be'ul, I need you. Yes, that's it, my precious sapling. You should have called upon me immediately, of course. But how could I be anything but delighted that you remembered me all on your own? Whatever you desire, your beautiful branch is at your service. Your Majesty! 'Tis true, none have yet returned the leafmen to its original form. But let such improbabilities become mere trifles if such is my sapling's wish. In fact, it could be accomplished by none other by none other. You and your friends possess the ability to heal those tainted by light's corruption, do you not? Were that knowledge to be coupled with my strength as king, this leafman may yet return to his erstwhile self. However, such deeply transformative magics are a far cry from simple pixie glamours. If you cannot hold the clearest image of your true form within your mind's eye, your fate as a mudman is all but sealed. You know what must be done, my darling sapling. Call for me again once your preparations are complete. Well, I take great comfort in knowing that I am not condemned to an eternity of muck or twigs, but recalling my true form seems like a daunting task indeed. Speaking of true forms, what was the consensus on yours, then? Person? Tree? Honestly, I'm more confused than ever after that last conversation. Oh, a nickname! That makes far more sense. You do look quite like a person. You say your name is Shizune? A pleasure to meet you. Now, Shizune, I don't mean to impose, but seeing as I am shackled here by the roots and surrounded by plant-harassing mischief makers, you may be my only living ally in this world. Please, please help me remember who I truly am. I will do my best. Oh, thank you. I will do my utmost to remember promptly. Of course, simply trying to remember something you so utterly can't seems like a rather fruitless endeavor. There must be some reliable way of stirring up latent memories. If I had hands, I'd give myself a smart rap on the head to get the blood flowing. Or sap flowing, as it were. But you have hands, Shizune. Would you be so kind as to give me a good, solid smack in what might be my cranial region? Just to get the leafy matter engaged. People don't normally request that I hit them. Wait, I just got a better look at your biceps, so perhaps not. Yeah! Anden, you mustn't beat upon the bush. I know I got a little carried away tugging at your leaves and all, but I'm ready to help now, and I know you better than anyone. I've even seen your true form before, but simply telling you what I know isn't going to help you truly remember who you were, and you must truly remember your true form if you are ready to return, or truly to return safely. True. I must say that it is surprisingly thoughtful for someone who was tee-heeing at my distress not moments ago. But if you can't tell me anything, how do you intend to help? Well, I never said I couldn't tell you anything. Just nothing too important to be told. I'll give you your little hints and pieces instead. Like this. Do you remember being a shepherd, Anden? You so loved your fluffy white sheep. You loved them so much, in fact, that even those scary sin-eaters couldn't drive you away from your flock. You stayed and cared for them until the very end. Really? I confess, I don't remember anything of the sort. But if you speak the truth, perhaps seeing tools or materials a shepherd might use would induce further recollection. Not much of a lead, but it's all we have at the moment. Shizune, would you be kind enough to procure me some items fit for a shepherd? Yeah. Will help too. Lor'ul and Anik-Os love playing shop, so be sure to check their wares for both handy and dandy bits, bobs and supplies. Lately, Lor'ul has been fascinated with what mortals call scripts, but sweet Anik-Os will be happy to take your shiny coin just the same. Oh, what fun we shall have! I can hardly wait to get started. Boop. Alright, so yeah, thing I hadn't noticed before, because the time when I really would have been paying attention to like area names and really exploring Ilmeg the first time around was way before Ondan got added to the game. But if that name at all sounds familiar to you and you haven't done these quests before, hey, look, it's the guy. It's his name. I wonder what that's about. Assuming I was a shepherd, seeing... Oh. Okay. The old city has long since sunk into the cold, chilly depths of Longmere Lake, but up on the opposing cliffs you can still find what's left of a certain shepherd's cottage. Tee-hee! Go on, royal sapling. If you've wings, fly forth and see. Yeah! You know what? We've got time. Let's do it. Actually. Boop, boop, boop. And grab those three. So yeah, that might be a nice place to... actually, I was going to teleport to Wolfdorf, but I think this is actually closer. But yeah, cool. I was worried that it might be a spoiler or a, or, like, I thought that was either, like, a fun fact or a spoiler, but no, they just straight up tell you right at the beginning. Cool. But yeah, I guess, like, I would love to know and, like, get my eyes on whatever piles and piles of lore they have from, like, naming stuff and whatnot in the game that has not been incorporated into the game before. Because once upon a time, Ondan's heirs would have meant nothing. And then they were like, I don't know, maybe they just, like, maybe it was just a name and a place and that was it. And then they're like, hey, let's tell a story about this character. Let's make some shit up. Anyway. Custom deliveries, undone, sheep equipment. I am doing this the hard way. Whoops. Oh well. It's not even that much harder. It just means I'm not one button high quality these. Oh shit! Well. You know what? For the sake of my sanity, I think I will do this on Goldsmith. It'll be quicker. Especially if I'm gonna have to backtrack. On den, cheap equipment. Yep. Besides, it would be nice to get Goldsmith to 100 sooner rather than later, so I don't have to worry about it so much. Because my plan this time around is to, while I am working through MSQ and playing through Dawn Trail off stream, at least passively grind the crafters and gatherers. So that way I can do a crafting and gathering week once we finish at least based on trail, kind of like what we're doing here. And just keep doing that and not lose momentum. Because I don't plan on taking 2 months off once I finish based on trail the way I did with Endwalker. But, you know, I think I needed the break. It was good for me. I can finally say I finished Subnautica. And Digimon Time Stranger, I had a lot of fun with. I have thoughts, but it was still fun. Okay, now we go back. I fixed my little oopsie. And we turn stuff in. And then we should be good to wrap up the stream. That's not the direction I wanted to fly in. Oh wait, no, I need to stay on Goldsmith because I have to craft one more thing. Alright. Push a button, instant high quality. And there we go. Now I'm good to switch over to Carpenter. Assuming I was a shepherd, seeing items used for tending sheep may help me remember something crucial. At least, I hope it will. Tending sheep requires food, medicine, trimming shears, cleaning supplies. Oh, what's that you have there? For me? I cannot fully express how grateful I feel, Shizune. Oh, thank you, and thank you again. And last one. You have brought me so many nice things. It's a shame I can't put any of them to use. I dare say I'm far closer to sheep nourishment than nourisher in my current state. But that regret in and of itself feels like a clue. And these items do seem profoundly familiar somehow. Oh, that's it! I've remembered something! You were right, Aotir. I was a shepherd, and I lived here with my sheep and cared for them very, very much. Yes, that's right, Honden. Go on, go on. Originally, I lived up on the mountainside across the lake, but when the flood came, we were forced to evacuate down here. Oh, my little flock didn't like the move one bit. They never got along with the local shepherds, though I'm sure they do now. But I'm sure they do now that their wardens are tasty. Or tasty leafmen. I see. Okay. And there was one other they didn't take to, as I remember. Back before the blood, a Galgent traveler once assisted me with some work. Perhaps it was due to his hulking stature, but my sheep couldn't see him, but to batter him with their tiny hooves. I shouldn't laugh, but the sight was really quite charming. What? Well, you tried. What's this? Have I returned to my true form? Not exactly. But I've hardly remembered anything. No, this doesn't feel right. I I can say with relative certainty that I was never this gigantic. Tee or tee. So anxious, Anden. No need to fret. This is only a glamour, just a teeny tiny taste of who you may have sort of been. Or not. Either way, I've kept that fluffy, leafy head of yours in for luck. Precious you look. I thought you'd feel more comfortable with the appearance of a mortal. And the more limbs you have, the more I can make them flail. I suppose this does make communication easier in a fashion, but what's with this about making me flail? That's right, just like that! Oh, you are ever so droll. Oh, why just you delight, or why must you delight in my discomfort? Thanks to you, I'm bound to be battered to mulch by my adorable charges. Which, well, I suppose there are worse ways to go. Anden is pleased with your efforts. He now considers you a proper person. I'm not, yeah, I am a person. And yet there is still much to be done if he is to regain both his memories and true form. To that end, Anden has a new favor to ask of you. I'm actually gonna snooze that ad break. There we go. Oh, it needs to actually, like, get the timer going before I can even get that to work. Alright. Now you're sounding more like yourself. Did you so love mingling with your sheepies after... You did so love mingling with your sheepies after all. Snuggling up in a sea of fluffy wool and happy bleating. Although I doubt they'd let you snuggle looking like that. Snuggling. Yes, I must have done, seeing as it was so... cold outside? That's right. You wouldn't know it from this blossoming meadow, but these parts used to be far too cold for flowers. We are in the mountains, after all. I must have warded off the chill somehow. Shizune, could you bring me something I might have used to that end? Anything you can manage. It still gets chilly at nighttime, but these mountains were once frigid. What do you think I used to stay off the cold? Mountainous climbs are nothing to sneeze at. Rather, they would be without warm clothing or blankets or some such thing. Here, have a hat. For me? I cannot fully express how grateful I feel, Shizune. Oh, thank you. Okay, he just says the same thing when you turn things in. Alright. There you go. And that's it for this week. Thank you for bringing me so many nice things, Shizune. It's always so good to chat with another person. These pixies certainly make their own fun, but their games can get rather exhausting at times. Alrighty. So, I am going to wrap up the stream there, actually. So let me find somebody on Twitch for us to raid. Anyway, in the meantime, it would help if I knew how to spell Twitch. There we go. Thank you everybody so much for joining me tonight. If you haven't already, please hit that follow button, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Twitch. There is currently a poll going on in the Discord to decide what I am going to do if we hit 100 subs by the end of December. So yeah, if you want in on that, be sure to subscribe. Or be sure to head to the Discord and vote and then subscribe to make it happen. And yeah, in the meantime, I'll be back on Friday at 8 o'clock Central for Friday Night Writes, my weekly writing stream, where I'm currently working on my debut novel. And Sunday, starting at 4:30 Central, I will be back with more Final Fantasy XIV, where we will hopefully, even if it ends up being a bit of a longer stream, finish the Studium quests. So that we can then next week move on to 6.0 dungeons and the first tier of the raids. I will probably, on Dungeon Day, I'll probably also use that time to unlock the Allied Societies so that we can then start trucking along to finishing up Endwalker and start headed towards Dawn Trail. In the meantime, ooh, we've got a couple people on Endwalker. Let's see here. We have a Sprout that Twitch is pushing, and it looks like they're in Shadowbringers. Yeah, let's go rate this person who's, well, wait. Who else is streaming? Yeah, let's go raid a new person. Let's go water a Sprout. So we're gonna raid Sirami. I hope that's how it's pronounced. I hope I got it right. Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna raid them. And in the meantime, just gotta push the button. There we go. All right, there we go. So yeah, go say hello to her, support the Sprout, and until I see you guys again, I hope you have a good night, stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. Bye!